terms of what inspired us in creating Assembly, when the Donmar first approached me about this commission, they wanted us to make a show about sustainability and about the climate crisis. Really early on in the process, we took an amazing research trip to the Centre for Alternative Technologies in Wales. Actually, just before the pandemic, it was like the last time that I travelled anywhere away from my house. And we met there a man called Paul Allen, who was one of the founders of the Centre for Alternative Technology. And he showed us around and he posed us this really interesting question, or provocation really, that artists need to be able to imagine the future. And somehow that question sort of stayed with us and became really the core of the show. Who gets to imagine the future and whose responsibility is it?
How do you
alter the path of history, change the course of civilization, determine the entirety of the future?
It's simple. You imagine it, and then you make it so.
Yeah, so trying to take that idea of imagining a future at the beginning part of the process, and then having this huge moment in the middle where everything just came to a big stop, was tricky, and we tried to embrace that as best as we can, as best as we could. We did a kind of an interrupted version of the show last July where we kind of caught up with some of our company members, and then when we came back to rehearse with them in November, it was like getting to know them again. And even though we'd done this kind of research and that was the backdrop of what we did, the script had moved and we were kind of starting again.
The show in its original form was all around this idea of a citizens' assembly, and so the centre of it was about a group of disparate people, disparate individuals meeting in a single space, this space of the assembly, which was going to be within the Donmar stage, to discuss the future. And as soon as it turned digital, we realised quite quickly that that central idea, that it's a shared space and it's people coming together, was not going to be possible in a straightforward way. And so that became this big question of the script and the production, is how do you, when you're not in a shared space, when you're in, 17 different locations, how do you still bring in this idea of people being together, even when we're more separate than any of us anticipated?
There are things that are part of the show now that Nina and I were talking about the other day that I can't imagine being any other way. And there is something quite exciting about that. So we've had an amazing creative team that are brought on board. So Andre Golding, who is our video designer and director of photography, and Frankie Bradshaw, who's our kind of installation designer. The three of us have worked incredibly closely to try to figure out something that would work just as well on screen as it would on stage. What we really wanted to do was make something that felt like it was designed to be viewed on a screen at home. Every time Nina writes something new, it comes back, it's bigger and it's got more ideas and it's more innovative. And the Donmar keeps saying yes. Whatever we say we want to build we want to build a huge installation, and we're going to do that in the rehearsal room, even though this building has people mostly working remotely at the moment. We're doing it. All of this crazy stuff just keeps being put together, and the sense of ambition in the project is amazing.
Oh, well, that is a shock. I feel quite shocked. Really quite shocked. Really?
Oh, it's collapsed!
It must be shock!
How do you know?
Well, he said the word shock 3 times!
Does anyone know first aid?
What can audiences expect from watching Assembly? I think hopefully what they'll get is a really visually exciting hour that takes you on a journey of a fictional community, who are the community that Nina has created a world for in the show Assembly, but also a real life local community who have come together in a time of crisis and managed to put a show on still. And that show has not been halved by any account. It's as ambitious as any show I've ever made in my life.
So I would hope, in terms of what audiences might take away from Assembly, that this core question for us of who gets to have a say in the future might resonate for them.
What we don't have is any answers. So we really worked hard to try to make sure that it didn't seem like two theatre creatives in 2021 were solving the crisis.
Yeah, I would hope that people come to the show and find it joyful and find it hopeful.
This is the news. The universe has arrived, and with it, light. And with the light, we can see the future. Maybe it's just arrived, or maybe we've just arrived in it. Maybe it's been here all along, but we've been looking in the wrong direction. Maybe it's magic, or maybe it's science, or maybe it's just the way time works, the way the world works. But just as everyone was losing hope, it's here, and it's something.
I could say hand on heart with this show, I've never done this before. And there's lots of processes to it which I recognise, and there's lots of jumping off points where I can go, oh, this experience links back to that. But it's a crazy project, and in a weird way, there is a sense that we're all in this together. I think this company feel like not only are they at the forefront of making local non-professional work, they are at the forefront of digital theatre making.